Alright, welcome back to my channel, everybody. This is Earl from Bodies by Earl here at Grangeville High School with my brother, my friend, my godson father, Mr. Kemar Placid Gayle. Yo brother, big up yourself. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel, that is. Introduce yourself to my followers and subscribers, please.
Alright, so, yeah man, as Tugo said, my name is Kemar Gayle, teacher by profession, currently the Dean of Discipline at Grangeville High School. You know, brother come and give the eye a link up, so, you know, don't know the love and blessings have to go across.
Alright, you're here from the big man himself, Mr. Prezi, former custodian like myself, big man, athlete, coach, teacher, and now recently FIFA referee. Congratulations, brother. Proud of you.
Yeah,
love the growth.
Yeah, man. Growth.
Make him and them know how your journey started as a student athlete going into GC Foster right through. Just make them know what going on.
Well, funny enough, your channel will be the first to actually hear certain things about me, because I want to tell persons that my first love was really cricket. So I started out playing cricket while attending Sheffield All Age at that time. I made the transition past for Little London High School after. I won't tell you if I did GSAT or whatever. Well, it couldn't be PEP, of course, because PEP is just the other day. Yeah. You know, but I ended up attending Godfrey Stewart High School, and I started doing track and field there. I had a good coach, but sometimes, you know, the workload and so on, in terms of the training that was required, really and truly, I did not get that and ended up being injured. I went to champs. My very first time at National Boys and Girls Champs, I ran the medley for Godfrey Stewart High School, and I want to tell you that we started in lane 8. We handed over the baton last, and we finished that way. But I can tell you that if you came in the stadium at that time, while I was running the 800 leg, you would believe that I was leading, because I did it with passion. I did it with everything that was within me.
Best way.
And you know, I did the tool up, and the crowd, it really, you know, they were behind me, and it encouraged me to run. You know, I was just running real hard to the line. You know, and then I told myself that, you know, I want to do an individual event for myself, because, you know, school days used to go and thing. So they used to call me Medley Man. I didn't like the name, but, you know, yeah, I didn't like the name. Honestly, I didn't like the name. But what I learned from them is that if you basically don't like a name, and your friend them know, them will continuously call yourself. So me just love the name and thing, and them eventually stop calling me. You know, as we grew, went to Gibson Relay, we did well. At one point, we had the 9th fastest time in the 4x2. I'll never forget that year. The same year, Godfrey Stewart won Dakar Cup 2005. I remember receiving the baton, and I heard the commentator saying, you know, they did well in football, and now, you know, and it just gave me the pump to run. You know, Calabar had the 8th fastest time, and it was just by a few hundredths of a second.
Yeah,
you know,
very close.
Very close. From there, I went to GC Foster College. It just wasn't working out for me. I got injured early out, and then becoming the president, as Stu would have mentioned earlier on, it was really a turning point for me, because I started to learn things about myself that I didn't know. You know, being able to stand in front of persons who are much older than I am, representing students, giving them a voice, and the representation, it was true and it was authentic. From there, I move on to doing my bachelor's. And at that time, my good friend, I must mention his name, Ocean Nation, who is a FIFA referee. He was the one who came to me, because at the time he was a part of the student council body. He was my sport coordinator. He would do some of the games along with Daniel Parchment, who is also a FIFA referee, a former custodian as well. And you know, he encouraged me to go and join refereeing. Mark Sullivan, who is a former custodian as well, he was the man in charge at St. Catherine refereeing group at that time. And it started there after leaving St. Catherine. Then I came back to my hometown, and I was still on the journey. I can tell you that it's never easy. Injuries, hamstring injuries especially. And you know that I would have come to you work with me, especially during COVID time and all of that. So Stugu is a man. I was watching your interview the other day when a student interviewed you, and everything that you would have said, and maybe one interview cannot capture everything, for you. But he was really one of those integral person who really, stayed by my side. And in terms of treatment, my good friend Terran Brown, man at Calabar, in terms of high jumping, and Gayle Malcolm, who is employed at Belmont Academy. 3 persons who are integral to my recovery, road to recovery. And from there it's just continuous work. I always tell myself that, it's not the opportunities that comes forward from refereeing to travel, and at the same time, you earn doing something that you have a passion for, and so on. So you grow, and as you said, I'm a coach, so I would have coached Grangel High School football. I would have coached track and field, and we did well in track and field. And I just want to use your channel to mention that the record, the student with the record for the decathlon at Champs right now is a Grangel High School student. His name is Kerrol Manning. So we have done well, despite it was not publicized out there, but this is a channel that you will learn a lot through. So I basically, any opportunity, whether be it under 14, girls league, anything at all, and that is one of the things why in terms of the corner leagues, I did some corner leagues earlier on, but sometimes person wanted to amend the laws of the games to suit them, and it wasn't really to say for me and thing, because if I am going to do a game, I always tell myself that if I should officiate a game and something goes wrong, it should not sit on my chest. It must be a natural mistake or something that I didn't see. But I will not. Yes, I will not be in my bed at night and say I when I reflect, I feel bad about it, and so on, to know that I willingly did something. That is not like me. So Valdin Legister, former custodian as well. He was one of the person at Westmoreland at the time when I came back. Who really was behind me, and Richard Washington, former FIFA assistant referee. So those persons really played an integral role in my journey all the way, and to be selected as a FIFA assistant referee, it's just a great feeling, because I know my struggles, you know the struggles, the injuries that I had. At one point I thought it was over for me. I did a minor surgery on my foot. I had Achilles tendonitis, hamstring. I had knee injuries, and believe me, I am okay. I am great. I am not feeling any pain at all. I don't have hamstring injury now. I don't have the Achilles tendonitis. My knees, I'm okay, and I thank God for that. And all the persons who contributed, man. Trust me. So it's a new journey for me, and as I said, a privilege and not a right. So I will always ensure that I do my best, represent myself, represent my family. Caroni Gregory, who has always been there for me. My son and my daughter. Just the journey. My mother, my brothers, my sisters. Persons who are behind the scene working. Just a word of encouragement. It's almost like an emotional interview.
No, man, of course, man, that's there for you.
But it's a journey. It's a journey, and when you are coming from something and reach a point, at the pinnacle, and you realize that you will never self-actualize because you set a bar, and then when you reach that, you're saying, hey, I can go further.
Always raising the bar.
Always raising the bar. So being nominated first as a FIFA referee, assistant referee, and then getting the appointment and going to the presentation, it's just a beginning of something new, because I would have say self-actualized in that sense, but there is much more.
Always
much more to accomplish. And my first assignment, as was mentioned on the news last night, that Guatemala CONCACAF under 17 championship.
Great achievement.
So that's the first assignment internationally as a FIFA assistant referee. I did my first game wearing the badge the other day, a game between Humble Lions and Portmore United at Effort Villa in Clarendon. It was a good game. I just want to continue to grow, and as an individual, so that I can be an example. Even while at school, my students, they are saying, sir, you're a celebrity, man, you're a celebrity, come take a picture with me. Me see you in the paper, me see you on news, and it's a great feeling. And being in an institution like this, where sometimes behavioral issues and so on, but it gives them
someone to look up to.
Yes. And also an avenue to say, not because you're not the best footballer, the best track and field athlete, best volleyballer, basketballer, whatever sport, there are other areas in sports that you can be involved in. Because if someone had asked me a few years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that I would be at this point. I want to give God thanks, who has been at the forefront of everything, and all the persons who have provided that sort of support for me and thing, man. And it's just I can't forget Mr. Stewart, former principal at Grangel High School. He was there for me right through the process. And thing. And even while I was doing my masters, I used to sit here at the same desk, toiling through the night, doing a lot of reading and all of that. And at the end of the day, it paid off. It paid off. And man like you from time to time would call and send even a text or something and say, hope you're good, and it's just a journey, man. So from the journey, you know what it is like, man.
Family, man. You see, people understand. People always say to persons that I remember going to GC Foster in 2000, the first time I left Cuba as a national representative for Jamaica. We played in Narseca Juniors, came to orientation, and once you go through the process, and people struggle in different ways, mentally, physically and emotionally, but when you got into GC and we started actually playing sport, and we in those times, and I think possibly even now sometimes, we play against UE and UTech and the other universities, and we would beat them in any sport, and they would say, boy, it's expected that we should beat them because we do advanced ramping at GC Foster. But a lot of persons are not cognizant of the curriculum or the kind of subject areas that we really pursue or we have to take part in at GC Foster. They think we only play sport, but we have such a major science base, psychology, basically every subject that every other college does, plus science and the sporting courses. So people see us as, you're just one coach, or they kind of look down on us sometimes for those who are ignorant to what we are capable of. But as a custodian, yourself and me, we pride ourselves in providing and producing the best possible work, to get the best possible result. And I teach my students all the time, don't feel that you have to be a player. There are so many roles and responsibilities that still help to boost the sport and the teams to where they need to be. I tell them about journalism for sport. I tell them about sport doctors. I tell them about massage therapists. All of those different, I tell them about sport lawyers, different job opportunities that still relate to sport. Because not everybody will have the the drive to be an athlete, because some persons just can't manage their workload, especially when it comes down to the mental part.
Yeah.
I tell them about, you know, assisting people. Sometimes you just need a sports psychologist to talk to somebody. I tell them all the while, there are different areas. Everybody is good at something. Some persons are good physically, some persons are good verbally. Yeah. They have different areas that they can channel the energy to and still make a good livelihood from. But GC Foster sometimes, and big up to GC Foster, big up the sister Caroni at GC Foster, always doing our best and putting our best foot forward to get everything done for other people. Make sure that she help as many persons as possible, and that's how your blessings continuously multiply. GC Foster is one of those colleges that give a lot of young persons the opportunity to do well in sport. And as we say, it's not just about being a player, but it's being anything that relating to the sport that helps the sport to grow. Right? And with there, see Kemar, I can talk before him face or behind him back. When I'm most principled person I know, if him go do something, if him not do it good, him not do it at all.
True.
He mentioned through COVID, I started out my fitness journey and get my channel up and I try. From COVID start and me there home and I say, boy, I really have to do something for myself. It taught me self-sufficiency more than any other time in my life. And him, Caroni, KJ at the time, come round, them support me, them come work out with me. Any little injury came or recall me, say, yo, Errol, me need you for help me. I feel some pain on my hamstring and my Achilles. You know, we always communicate. Always, you know, bounce ideas off each other and thing. And I tell you, man, you see one thing I can always tell people, appreciate the people when they're around you. Especially the persons them will show you good face in a bad times. And Kemar one of those persons. And I have to always show him respect. This interview has been long coming. Should have been before. Possibly should have been one of the first persons. But guess what? Nothing happened before the time. But you see, right in time when him get one more achievement. And as we say, success is not a place. It's not a final destination. Success is just a light post or a path where a place where you pass on the road, because you will always keep passing different areas that you can be successful in. Keep that in mind. There is no end to success. There is no end to growth. If you stop grow physically, you grow mentally. But there's always room for improvement. Mr. Gayle,
yeah, man.
Respect again, you know, man. Appreciate it. This is Earl again, tuning in from Bodies by Earl channel. Kemar, Gayle, Mr. Placid, Mr. President. We are here. Please like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you for tuning in.